Hello everyone, it's Dave Taylor from CyberHost Pro with another tutorial for business making the most of the web. And today I want to talk about an issue that's often overlooked, and that's effective copywriting on your website. Sometimes businesses leave this to the web developer or the web designer, but it's something that you should really understand what works and what doesn't. So I'm just going to zip through some top tips on writing more effective copy. The first thing to say is in any piece of copy, whether it's a paragraph or a page, is to tell the whole story in the first sentence. This is classic newspaper technique, that the reader needs to understand what the whole piece or the whole piece of content is about from the first sentence, because once they've read the first sentence, that is what persuades them to go on and read the rest of that piece of content. So rather like a newspaper story, you need to tell them, the consumer, what that whole piece of content is about in a very brief form in the first sentence, and then go on to elaborate from there. Number 2 is to check off that your piece of content includes the essentials of any story, which are the who, the what, the why, the where, the how, and the when. So just use those terms to check against your piece of content once you've written it, and make sure that you're hitting those boxes. Number 3, easy to read and jargon free. Don't want any technical language here, and the guide, the rule that I have heard that I think is a really good one, is that your content must be easily understandable by a bright 12-year-old child. So use that as your measure to ensure that what you write is easy to read and doesn't contain jargon. The next tip, as well as no jargon, no waffle and no repeats. Once you've written your piece of content, go back through it, make sure that you haven't added any waffly parts that are just there to fill out the page, and that you haven't said the same thing more than once. If you have, chop it out, because less is more. Be clear. Here's a big one. Be clear about what you want the reader to do next. At the end of each piece of content, or around each piece of content, there needs to be a call to action, inviting the consumer or the prospect to do what you want them to do next. Download something, subscribe to something, buy something. Whatever you want them to do next on their customer journey, make sure that that is clear and apparent next to your piece of content. Next one, test your content with the so what test. If you write a piece of content and then you read it back, and you can say, well, I've read it, but so what? It doesn't move me emotionally, it doesn't inspire me, it doesn't make me want to do something. That is the so what test, and if you fail the so what test, you need to rewrite your piece of content. The next one, really important, check and check again your spelling and grammar. There's no excuse for not using a spell checker on your content. And also your grammar needs to be correct, apostrophes in the right place, commas in the right place, full stops. Nothing will put a consumer off more than poor spelling and grammar. It just reflects so badly on your website, and it's so easy to get right. Here's a good one. If you can, possibly get someone else to read and comment on your content before you publish it. Quite often, we are all too close to our businesses and our websites, and we need to take a step back and get somebody else's perspective. So if you follow those top tips, we can guarantee that you will have more effective copy on your website, and that will improve your customer journey and conversion of your customer to your goals.